Have a good day to all. I'm Jimmy with you as always, and today we have another selection of stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Well, we're starting. First story, today from user Noshin, let's listen him. So this situation is just all around. So me, 26 male, and my now ex-fiancée, 27 female, had been dating for a little over 4 years when I asked her to marry, and she said, yes. Now here's the problem as we were planning about the new house we were going to buy. I talked to her about a room for my mother, 60s F, as she'd live with us after we got married. I had discussed with her a lot of times when we're dating that my mom would live with us because, simply put, I'm an only child, and my mom raised me as a single mother after she divorced my father. Abuse. She never had a new boyfriend, nor did she ever remarry. Her entire life was dedicated to raising me alone. And also, me and my mom are each other's only living relative. We have no family besides each other. My fiancé said that she did not want my mother living with us, and when I asked about why she didn't say anything when we're dating, she said that she thought I'd get over it and we could put her in a home. And this, I absolutely refused. I was furious because my mom had always treated her as her own daughter and had never been one of those crazy meals that are rude and evil. I gave out an ultimatum that if my mother couldn't live with us, we wouldn't get married. And yeah, we broke up. Now her side of the family and her friends are calling me an asshole. But I don't think I did anything wrong since I made it clear when we were dating that my mother would live with us. So Ada. Author edited the story. I should have mentioned this, but our family has a history of dementia settling in around early 60s. And my mother has started to show signs of forgetfulness. That's why I want to keep her as close as possible. I will be the primary caregiver. She has plenty of savings to cover the cost of her treatment and 2 apartments in her name, one she currently lives and one we have put on rent. After moving her in with me, I will sell one of them and will hire a full-time nurse after her dementia starts getting worse. We were never planning on having children, nor did I ever expect her to quit her job or stay at home to take care of my mother. I understand that it'll be tough, and it should be majorly my responsibility. But she raised me through tough times all on her own, and I will not turn my back on her now that it's my time to help her. My mother has only recently started showing signs of dementia. Up until a few years ago, she was doing just fine. But now her health is slowly starting to deteriorate. We are independently wealthy due to my mother founding and then selling her own company. Money will not be an issue, and I can easily here help. You all are correct, but my mother living with us is never the only option. I suggested I understand that what I had was a big ask, so I was ready to buy a 2-story home or something like that. But she just wanted to put her in a home and be done with it. Author update the story. So I talked with my mother about the wedding being canceled and why it was happening, and got a very tight slap across my face. My mother was disappointed with the idea of my ultimatum, and she felt that I was reducing her down to burden when she wasn't one just yet. It was already stated she'd come live with me and I got married. This was not the way. My mother expected me to handle the situation better. In her words, I'd just be throwing her hard-earned money in a pit because of my own selfishness, and that she did not raise me to be this inconsiderate of my. So she explained things to me and showed me my fiancé's perspective in a much clearer light. She said she did want and expect to live with us, but not for forever, and not that soon after I got married. She also said that she would rather go into a specialized care home where the professionals could handle her should her illness get worse and changes who she is. I contacted my fiancé and we talked, and it was all pretty emotional, but it was all for the better. I apologized for my ultimatum and not seeing her perspective better, and she apologized for what she said and that she was wrong for saying that we could put her in a home. She knew how much my mother meant to me, so she admitted that her insinuating we could just drop her in a home was wrong. I was unwise and naive and could not see beyond my own ideas for our future, which is the worst thing I could have done, especially considering my life is going more than just my own from now. We decided that it's best to buy a house and move my mother in with us, at least for the time being, so we can still spend some time with her while she's somewhat healthy. And when the time comes when taking care of her is beyond us, we will put her in a specialized care unit for people with dementia. close to our home, so we can still visit her, as my mother wants. Though we are still looking into the exact details of this plan, we are both coming out of this better partners for each other. Thought this may take a bit of time. We've also decided to hold off on the wedding and first try to be better partners first, but we are still engaged. Also, we'll be going on a trip around the world soon, so we could live our life as a couple, a bit before my mother moves in. I know there'll be challenges, and I know I'm not prepared to handle everything, but more than anything, if I won't be able to take care of my mother in her final moments, then I at least want to spend some time with her while she's still herself. My mother's diagnosis will be next week. I'm hoping that she's just being forgetful due to her age. But if it's that damned illness, then the possible amount of time with my mother is considerably shortened. Thank you all for your comments. I hope such a situation never comes to any of you. That what I think about this story. Friendly neighborhood hospice nurse chiming in. I realize OP was going to go into this with good intentions, but his wife was 99.98% going to get roped into significant caregiving. His fiancée shouldn't have just changed her mind, but his idea of how caring for his confused mother was gonna go was completely unrealistic. I can't tell you how many angry, practically seething daughter-in-laws I run into on a somewhat daily basis. Let's check the user comment and author answers. Your mother sounds like an amazing person. OP, I say this as a compliment. Your mom is a badass, and I want to be like her when I grow up. She's tough, resilient, loving, wise, and she sounds like the kind of mom who means it. She says she just wants her children to be happy. That last point is something that a lot of parents say, but a lot of them also attach strings to it. For example, I just want my kids to be happy as long as they become a lawyer, a surgeon, or a broker in real estate or finances. I just want my kids to be happy as long as they marry someone who meets my standards because I know what's best for my children. I'm so glad that you were able to really take in what your mom said about your fiancé's perspective and that both of you were able to set aside your hurt feelings or pride so that you could have a really open, honest, and vulnerable conversation. I would suggest couples counseling because it can help you both learn how to better communicate with each other and learn to develop compromises that truly meet each of your needs without resentment. People grow and evolve over time, so marriage, or really any relationship, takes a lot of work and a lot of people wait until there's a problem to get counseling. But if you think of it as maintenance to keep it going smoothly, it can help you prevent issues from snowballing into that big problem. It sounds like you guys have a stable foundation when you communicate openly, so counseling can help you strengthen it and build upon it. Enjoy this time with your mom and with your fiancé. There's no rush to get married. You're already committed to each other. Just focus on keeping those relationships happy and healthy. Second story from user. Throwaway wife Hatesme, let's listen. This all went down about an hour ago, and my wife is still crying in our bathroom with the door locked. Backstory. We had our son, now 11 months old, while my wife is in residency. She took a few weeks off before giving birth, and then went back to work a few months after, while I transitioned my hours to part-time so that I could stay at home and raise our son. My mom moved in with us shortly after the birth in order to help out, which allows me to get in the few hours of work per day, and also not get swamped with taking care of the baby or housework. She's quite old-fashioned and would definitely not prefer this arrangement with me being a stay-at-home dad, but she hasn't said anything to either of us and has been a great help. For anyone unfamiliar with medical residency, it is brutal. My wife has just over a year left. Sometimes she comes and goes for 1 to 3 days, and our son is asleep the whole time she's home, which has been happening more as his sleep schedule shifted to sleeping through the night. My mom and I make sure that when she's home and the baby is awake, my wife gets him 100%. I know it's been hard on her, but unfortunately, it's just going to be this way for another year. The first big milestone she missed was him rolling over. When she got home, my mom pulled her over to the baby, all excited. I thought she was going to tell her, but instead she says, "Julie, you came home right on time. He's been moving about as if he's going to roll over." They both stood there encouraging him, and right on cue he rolls. My wife was elated. She was so worried and guilty about not being there. and she took it as proof that she can still be a present mother while working. So we continued. I send texts over little things she misses through the day so that it's not completely unbelievable. But my wife has been present for every single big milestone. He coincidentally started crawling with her right there. His first words were in front of her, and he began standing, cruising, and walking when she happened to be home. The walking one was difficult. There was a tough 7-day stretch where she just wasn't home during the daytime when he was awake. And his walking went from teetering to walking a couple steps pretty confidently in that time. We put little beanbags in one of his pants pockets, so he'd be wobbly and unbalanced, and it looked believable since he fell after the first step like he was doing a week ago. Yes, it was mean to our poor son, but my wife's face was worth it. Today it all unraveled. So far he can just say mama, dada, and nana. Yesterday he started saying bye-bye. My wife has today off and has been home all morning. My mom and I have been trying to get him to say bye all day without giving it away that we already know he can say bye. Successfully got him to say bye to the ducks at the park, and we both gushed over his newest ward the whole way home. My wife was using my phone to take pictures of him and began showing my mom at home while telling her about his newest word acquisition. She was swiping through my gallery and saw a video from yesterday and goes, "Oh, you never sent me this one." It was literally like a slow motion film happening in front of my eyes. I had taken the video of him yesterday waving bye-bye. My wife isn't an unwise. She figured the whole ruse out pretty much instantly. I've never seen her look so upset and heartbroken before. I couldn't say or do anything to comfort her. Now she's locked herself in the bathroom crying and won't come out. I'm on our bed, hoping someone can please tell me what to do to make this better. Author update the story. After I wrote the original post, my mom took my son to stay overnight with my wife's sister so that the two of us could have the house to ourselves. We pretty much just talked for an hour while constantly reaffirming that we love each other a lot and want to sort this out. I apologized and explained why I did what I did. She said that feeling like she was there for our son's milestones was really just a band-aid solution that didn't actually convince her she was present. She said that if she actually had been using the milestones to feel like she was present, this would probably have felt worse for her. But since she wasn't, in her words, deluding herself into thinking she's actually home, her main issue was that I lied, which hurt her feelings. I apologized and explained that I honestly thought that she would prefer the lying if given the choice. She said she understood where I was coming from and that she felt betrayed when she realized, but she sees that I was doing it because I love her and she thinks we'll probably laugh about it with our grandkids one day. Yes, I am very aware I don't deserve my wife. Some things came out on my end that I wasn't going to tell her and didn't mention in my last post, namely, that I'm scared she's going to become Destroy. My uncle committed Destroy when I was a child, in part from working in a high-stress job where he made a huge and costly mistake. One of my wife's colleagues attempted Destroy while she was on mat leave. Being a working mom is bad enough. Being a resident in this program is bad enough. Both combined are a recipe for trouble. Since our son was born and the incident with her colleague happened, I've been afraid that if her home life wasn't perfect, it would push her over the edge. Anyways, she reassured me that that's not happening, and I think saying it out loud also made me realize it's a pretty irrational, groundless fear. We ordered takeout and sat together, watching the real videos I have of all our son's firsts. I also have a special folder of pictures or videos of my son with my wife. So we went through that after. She almost choked from laughing so hard when I tentatively revealed the beanbag trick. I am the laughing stock of her friend group chat. So I guess we're already at the stage where we're laughing about it. That what I think about this story, your intentions here are very, very kind. But lying to protect your wife's feelings is still lying. It sounds like your wife is feeling some guilt or ambivalence about not being able to spend as much time with your baby as she wishes she could. And pretending that she is a part of all his firsts isn't ultimately going to help her deal with those feelings. You need to be honest with her and give her the space to feel whatever she feels about this. she also needs to understand that a lot of working parents deal with the same disappointment she's feeling, and come to terms with it. Let's check the user comment. Oh gosh, you all sound like you're trying to do the best you can. I think it's sweet that you and your mother are trying hard to make your wife feel less bad about being so busy with work. Lying is not black and white. You all have good intentions. Thanks to everyone who watched to the end. We have another second issue waiting for us, so I'll be waiting for you there. See you again.